spiritual, physical, political, psychological, religious, atheist, poor, rich, all tons of different types of people. But we all have something in common. We're all looking for something in common, whether we admit it or not. We're looking for peace and happiness. We're looking for safety. We're looking for assurance. We're looking for reason. And like I said, even if certain fields of people don't admit those things, why would they be doing them? What are they doing them out of? If they tell you it's just a hobby, it's not something big, they're still doing it to get pleasure. They're still doing it to be happy, you know. And then for the people that are trying to find reason in the world or find the right way to live or, you know, how we should live, they're trying to be happy. They're trying to feel safe. They're trying to be reassured that what they're doing is good. But you look around and there's all this distinction, all this negativity towards each other. So there's something in there that's making us all fight, that's making us all disagree and not see the same view. Because if we all want the same thing on the inside, like I'm saying, why are we fighting? Why are we fighting? It's as if different groups of people, different cultures of people, different fields of study believe that their way of living and learning and being is the way we should all be. Now that's just one of the groups that feels like that. Not to mention all the other groups that feel that what they're doing is the way people should be, the way people should live, and the way people should think. Now when two opposing parties confront each other, it's looked at in a few different vantages. It's looked at as, this is my enemy who doesn't believe in the right stuff, or more accurately, this is my enemy because they don't believe what I believe. Some people will look at it as, you know, to try and be optimistic about it. Oh, these are my enemies, but I need these enemies because they strengthen my faith and my knowing in what I do. But you still have on the inside a hope that you're going to turn them over to what you think through being compassionate, open, understanding of what they have to say. You hope you can convert them to how you are by being like that. So it really comes down to this matter of people arguing over how we get to happiness and peace and that kind of stuff. Because you have to consider how many different ways people get happiness and peace and assurance and pleasure and, you know, safety and those things, you know. One person finds happiness in becoming a successful businessman with millions of dollars and, you know, giving out money to different organizations and stuff like that, while another man's happiness is sitting down with nothing around them, with just themselves, and they are in a deeper state of pleasure than anybody that they know, anybody else around them that's also looking for all this pleasure. The businessman looks at the meditating man and, you know, wonders, you know, how far out, how weird of a way to get happiness, you know? How could that make you happy? But what he's doing is looking through the meditating man's method from his veil, from his perspective. He's imagining himself sitting and doing nothing, and how that would create happiness. And he can't see it in a million years. He would rather be out, running businesses, making plans, making products, making money and giving money away, and expanding his production and his company and all this stuff, Just sitting. How could that make me happy? But the meditating man is sitting there looking at the businessman going, how is he finding happiness in doing all that stuff? Running around with this suit on, making all this money, trying to impress all these people. How does he find happiness in that? And it's the same thing, vice versa. The meditating man doesn't understand how he is happy through being a businessman. So this goes for all fields of belief and fields of understanding of what they want and how to get it, I was talking with my dad's wife last night, kind of just along the lines of like the origin of life, and she was talking about how Earth is just this rock, and life lives on it. Fair enough. But my question was, it's not like, as far as we know, it's not like cells and biological material hit Earth from outer space and came from outer space, came somewhere else, and we're aliens. We grew out of this rock. We grew out of this dead structure, as she called it. The first signs of life were found deep down in the ocean, right above those thermoducts, vents, or whatever they're called, where the water is really hot, right above where the hot air is coming out. That's where the first life was found. It was created, synthesized in that little area on this rock that has all these other components of water, oxygen, heat, that kind of stuff. I was explaining this to her, telling her, how did life just come from a rock? Because you're right, this is a rock, but life is here. It came out of a rock. So I'm really just asking her, how did that happen? She tells me that's something for your God to answer. Because she knows I'm spiritual and she's more based in Christianity and stuff like that. And she says that. She says that's something for your God to answer. And what came out of my mouth, without even really thinking about it, was my God doesn't answer questions. First of all, I don't even really identify a God in my life, besides everything that is. But what I saw in that was kind of like just this third perspective view of like, how far out? Like these two little humans walking around on this dead rock, you know what I mean? And they're sitting here talking about how one God can answer questions and another God can't, And it's just a weird concept. Like, what is happening right now? We're sitting here arguing over what God can answer what. Which God can answer what. And if there's a God and how all this got here, It came off to me as the classic, like, belief-based misinterpretation that people experience with each other when they're communicating about things of that nature. Maybe not even things that deep, like a more mundane thing, There's a lot of, like, heated topics or triggery topics, as we would call it in today's time, like being transgender or gay or lesbian or being extremely patriotic, politics, how we feel that we know what would be best for the country, and we're putting our 2 cents in, you know what I mean? And there's all these goobers trying to play it all out. It's a pretty far out game that we're in here, you know, and what I find myself doing is looking at it as Shiva, looking at it as Leela, divine play, you know. This is form, the formless made manifest, unfolding, happening. What am I gonna do? Change it? Kill myself? You know what I mean? Force people to act different ways? Go to war and kill people because I want something and what I want is different than what that group of people wants? Am I gonna sit and do nothing? Am I gonna be a traitor to my country? You know? There's all this stuff, and we're all trying to figure it out, you know, about this COVID thing. I don't even talk about that, but like, if you don't live in the United States, I'm sure you still know about COVID and all that shit, you know, and all the conspiracy around that, and all the mandations and control, and, you know, wear a mask, don't go out in public, stay 6 feet apart. You know, people are getting really worked up. People are getting angry. People are getting scared. People are questioning other people or themselves and what they think, you know what I mean, and their peers and stuff like that. And, you know, my dad's telling me, you know, stuff's getting serious. Stuff's getting real, you know. We're in scary times. You know, we're going to need to do something about this. And I'm overcome by a giggle. I'm overcome by a chuckle. And he says, no, I'm serious. I'm serious. We're in scary times. I'm not joking. You know, and it's as if my laugh insinuated that I don't believe him. But no, I believe him. I believe that people think this is scary as hell, and this is bad and fearful, and, you know, we're in danger. You know, I believe that people think that. But I think he wants me to be scared. I think he wants me to be scared and nervous with him as a sort of, like I was saying earlier, a reassurance that, you know, they're doing the right thing, you know. In other words, he's saying, I'm not the only one that's scared here, right? You know? You're scared too, right? You know, he's trying to get some grounds of further understanding. And the reason I laugh is it's not out of I'm better than you. It's not out of I don't believe you. It's called the cosmic giggle. And it's a matter of seeing the divinity and perfection in everything. Seeing everything as just not only the way it is, but perfect in that way. I laugh because there's nothing wrong here. You know? Why so serious? Why you gotta take it so seriously? Do you really think you're that body? Do you really think you're important? And that this all matters? Sounds pretty morbid, doesn't it? You know, coming off to somebody who is in fear. But, you know, people like me exist. People that, in essence, break down the boundaries of what other people are thinking. Even myself, I do it to myself. But I've come to this, you know, like, I've accepted that the way I am is different than my parents, you know, people around me, my main culture that I'm in. I am different from that. I don't see importance in money. I don't see importance in fighting and war and proving your side is more powerful or right or better or whatever, you know? And a lot of people look at me as a coward. A lot of people look at me as I'm the one who's scared. A lot of people look at me as a traitor. I'm surrendering to the enemy, you know. And it's all such far out stuff because you read about it a lot. You read about all these ostracizations between different organizations and different belief systems. But experiencing it yourself, having somebody look at you like you're, you know, not doing the right thing, it's experiential at that point, and you can see the separation being made out in the world. That person isn't like me. They think like that, you know. I mean, I'm just this far out hippie that talks deep stuff that doesn't really amount to anything, according to a lot of people. An assumption, because I've seen the different stereotypes associated with people like me, you know what I mean? But all I can do, I can buy into the egoic belief system that I'm a part of, and I'm a hippie that, you know, likes peace and not fighting and thinking all philosophical, and I can be that role and put it off to other people like they should be like me too. And, you know, give it up. Come on, chill out. Stop taking things so seriously, man. Chill out. Let go of it all. Let your boundaries down. Join with your true self. You know, you sound crazy talking to people who are serious, who are intellectual, who are, you know, mature, all this stuff. But, a big part of it is people just don't want to hear about it. People don't want to hear about the thoughts and beliefs of opposing systems of living, because there's the chance that they will be lacking. They won't know what to say, or how to react, or how to one up, or how to justify, or how to reassert that what they're doing is better, safer, smarter, you know? They don't like hearing about all that crazy shit because it could just poke a hole in what they think. And they like to just fill their minds and surround themselves with people that think like them, and thoughts that abide by what they're thinking, you know? That abide by the system that they live in. But to go back to the very beginning, there's all something we're looking for in common. Nobody wants to be depressed and angry. And even if you did, you wouldn't be depressed and angry when you're depressed and angry because you wanted that. Therefore, you're being fulfilled when you're in that space. So you like it. You're desiring depression, desiring anger. You get off to it. You like it. We're trying to be happy. We're trying to be at peace with ourselves, you know? I wouldn't say we're all trying to find reason. I mean, I think I said that in the beginning, and I'll take it back, because not everybody's trying to find reason. A lot of people think they've found reason and are living it out. The reason we are alive is to reproduce. The reason we are alive is to become successful. The reason we are alive is to praise what this God had to say. The reason we are alive is to enlighten people. There is no reason we're alive. You know, there's all these different takes of why we're here and what we're doing. I'm looking for a reason to be alive. Oh, geez, interesting. Spooky. To somebody like me, it's like, oh, it's all so simple. If we all could just look into our true nature and see that we are creating the separation that we think is apparent in reality. And, you know, we are also the perpetuators of our problems and the perpetuators of our emotions and our negative, intrusive thoughts that we have about ourselves and others and the world and life, you know? It's all so simple. If we just sat down and looked in on a mass scale, you know? But Is that how things work? Are we all just going to round up and sit down in meditation and look into the mind the way you're supposed to in order to see how you're perpetuating your own bullshit? Because you can just sit down and perpetuate your bullshit while sitting. You know, it won't make a difference. Kind of like Alan Watts says, the only zen that you'll find at a mountaintop is as much zen as you bring up there with you. That's the idea of it, is what I'm offering isn't like the answer. Because all these people are in different karmic positions, are in different perspectives and outlooks of life and places in life. Some people are distraught. Some people are jealous. Some people are scared. Some people are courageous. Some people are egoic and selfish and self-centered and, you know, what you'd call a douchebag. And there's all these different looks, and, you know, if one guy over here is out for his own good and one guy over here is scared of everybody around him and another guy over here doesn't believe what everybody else around him says, where are they going to meet? Where are the lines going to cross where they realize they're here in this together and that they are creating this animosity themselves? What does it take to realize that? I can't just say my solution. And if I can't say my solution, that means I can't just say that solution or that solution or that solution. I can talk about a utopian society in which people do follow certain solutions properly and realize the beauty and experience and how they're doing all this negative stuff, and we all come to our senses, and thus there's no more war and poverty and destruction and death and sickness and all that. But like I said, that's just talking in a utopian sense. What's going on right now? How do you feel about what's going on right now? You know what I mean? Do you feel like you're in a utopia? Do you think people are going to cooperate in getting to this state of utopia that you describe and how to get there? No, because people are in different places. People don't listen to other people. A lot of people don't even listen to themselves, you know, because a lot of the answers are right there. A lot of the answers are right there, but you turn away. You turn away. You turn back out. You turn back out. Kind of like that hole getting poked in your theory or philosophy. You can do that to yourself, and when somebody else brings up opposing material, you yourself, in your mind, can shred apart your own belief system. So you stop it, shut up, I don't want to hear it, you know, turn it back, because you're making me question how I think about things. That's dangerous. Because the way I'm thinking about things is the safest and the truest and the most beneficial for society. Ask yourself, if you're somebody that's freaking out in the times we're in right now, and oh my god, everything's going to shit, you know, we're gonna get controlled by the government, war is gonna break out, you know, or we're gonna die from this COVID thing, everybody's gonna get infested with it, and, you know, you see that you're scared, you see that you're nervous, you see whatever it is, sit down and ask why you're nervous, why you're scared, why you're fed up. What is it about what's going on that brings about that feeling? I'm nervous, I'm scared, I'm fed up with this. This is all bullshit. How do you know? Why? Why is that what you think? Looking into the nature of these standpoints that we base our reality and day-to-day lives out of will allow you to see just why you think like that. You know what I mean? Why you think, you'll see why you're scared. Why am I scared? Because I fear for my life. I don't want to die. Because I don't want my friends and loved ones to die. Why don't you want them to die? You know, just keep going. Just keep going. Keep inquiring into your boundaries, you know? And the point you get to is the point I've made a few times now. You just want to be happy and safe and reassured that it's all okay and that you're doing the right thing. Like, you ask people what they want in life. How often do they say, I want to be happy? What do you want to be when you grow up? How often does a kid say happy? You know, when you hear that shit, you think of, like when you hear, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or, you know, what do you want to do with your life or something like that? You think about an activity that you make a living out of. What activity do I want to do that makes me money? You know, what role do I want to have when I'm older? Do I want to be a celebrity? Do I want to be a renowned psychologist? Do I want to be a guru? Do I want to work with, you know, just, you think, you don't take any consideration into your emotional state, which is what basically runs how you feel about things. If I'm a renowned psychologist, if I'm a celebrity, if I'm a guru, what good does that do me if I'm suffering on the inside, emotionally? Because usually people think happiness lies in that next check, that next job, that next teaching, that next class you're gonna give, that next, you know, award you're gonna be given. But strangely enough, when you reach that place and get that thing, there's this little temporary worldly rush associated with it. Lasts a little while, depending on, some longer than others, depending on what you're doing and what it was that you accomplished. But in essence, that rush goes away. You know, I got this instrument a few weeks ago, and a few weeks ago, I was obsessed with the thing. I couldn't get my eyes off it. I couldn't get my mind off it. I was so happy to have this instrument, to be somebody that can play this instrument, to be able to put my fingers on it and that, all that stuff. I was happy. I was satisfied. I have the instrument now. But, you know, a little time goes on, and it's like, I'm coming in my room, and it's like, oh, hey, look, there's my instrument. Nice, cool. Not very, not much of a rush anymore, you know? And this happens with a lot of people, with many things that they're chasing after. They get to it, and then the happiness is over here. So they go to that, but now it's over here, and it keeps outwitting you. It's beyond your reach. You're just reaching and reaching and reaching, and you think the next thing you're gonna go is gonna give it to you. You get it for a second, and then it goes away, and you think, oh, that's not it, I guess. That's not it. That's not the answer. Whether it be a material, or a status, or a relationship, or a belief system, you know? It's always out beyond your reach. What you're looking for is out beyond your reach. You see it, you want it, but you don't know how to get it. That main sentence right there is what's going on in the world and why there's so much bullshit. We want what we want, but we don't know how to get it. And what we say we want is a roundabout way of saying we want to be happy, saying we want to feel safe and assured. Like a Muslim, what do you want? You know? I want people to believe in the grace of Allah. That's all I want. Well, I'm assuming in his mind, if everybody believed in the grace of Allah, he'd feel wonderful. he'd feel much pleasure. And that's what he's looking for. And we think the ways we get that pleasure are through this, or that, or this, or that. Imagine somebody who desires everything that's happening right now. Imagine how happy they would be. Imagine how fulfilled they would feel. And they had the ability to keep their desires open and flowing with what's happening. So that in every passing moment, what they desire is being given to them. Imagine how happy they would be. Now that kind of person neutralizes desire. Because when you have everything you desire, there is no desire. It neutralizes the sense of needing something. To be okay with what's happening to your core neutralizes the need and necessity and desire for anything and everything. So, in essence, somebody like that you could call fulfilled and happy. You could also say they have no desires. They don't desire anything. They aren't attached to anything. Because those both are basically synonymous with each other. Somebody who's gotten everything that they want and somebody who doesn't want anything are in essence in the same state of fulfillment. So what seems easier? Getting everything you desire set in stone? Getting it all and so you're fulfilled? Or kind of boil down, water down what it is that you desire so that you're not desiring as much and therefore what's happening is just innately okay and pleasurable and flowing and open. You know? What seems more challenging and what seems more workable? Well, the wise Indian saint Ramana Maharshi once said, "It is easier to cover your feet in leather than to cover the whole world in leather." Now, if you don't understand what that means, translated, it really says, it's harder to change the external world to fit your internal problems than it is to change your internal problems to fit the external world. Meaning, you know, there's all these thorns everywhere and you're stepping on them. Are you going to go through the task of covering the entire surface of the earth with leather so that you don't have to walk on thorns? Or will you just simply put some leather on? Put some shoes on? Now everywhere you walk is covered in leather. Everywhere you walk is covered. Just by that simple little act. And it's a little flip. It's a little flip. Work on the outside or work on the inside. So I'd have to say, in regards to getting everything you want and getting fulfilled that way, compared to letting go of everything you want and thus being fulfilled, I'd say it's easier to let go of what you want and thus be fulfilled, rather than strenuously try and achieve everything, every worldly thing it is that you desire. Because it keeps coming. It keeps coming. Desire keeps coming. So you're going to have to keep acquiring. You're going to have to keep reaching. But if you snip these desires by the bud, right at the source, how will they grow? How will they grow? If you cut off a few desires, you can think of like cutting off a leaf or a single branch of the entire plant and tree that is desire. But go down a little deeper and cut right below the root ball, right below the tap root where it separates and becomes, there's the roots and then the plant. Go down and cut down there, deep down, no more plant, no more desire. The system is still there. All the system that insinuates desire is still present, but not active. This is the idea behind people thinking, are Buddhists always happy? Are Buddhists like never angry or never judgmental or egoic and stuff like that? Or should I say, are enlightened people, are Buddhas always happy and never angry and stuff like that? Well, I'm not enlightened and I'm not a strictly Buddhist, but I would imagine that they're just like you. They're just like you. I mean, maybe if they're in an Indian culture, they're raised like an Indian person. What gets Indian people angry and jealous and you know, all that is in him, is present in him. The roots of an Indian culturalized person is present, but he's not attached to them. The enlightened person is not attached to his roots of desire. And in those roots of desire, anger, jealousy, fear, anxiety, depression are all born. So you could say, he could be filled with rage. He could be filled with jealousy. He could be filled with anger. He could be filled with the whole spectrum of emotions that are experienceable. But is he attached to them? Is there a plant growing up out of that system in him? No, is what I would imagine, because he's snipped it. He's snipped his connection to it. He's snipped his attachment to it. So therefore, he is in a space of desirelessness, which is, like I was saying earlier, the same as getting everything you ever could possibly desire. He is fulfilled because he has no desires. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and stop desiring everything. Because you could even find yourself in a position of desiring to not desire. Then you're in a real pickle, because now your desire is being perpetuated by getting rid of what it is that you think you desire. So you're desiring to let go of your desires, you know? You'll let go of quite a bit, you'll let go of a bunch of them, and then you're going to get down to the desire to not desire. You go, oh God, what do I do now? What do I do now? Because I don't want to desire anything. If I let go of that, what if I start desiring again? You know? So it gets a little tricky. But maybe, you know, take it slow. Take it slow, you know, stop thinking you need your phone on you 24/7. Stop thinking you need to be in a conversation with your loved one 24/7. Let them know first that, hey, I don't hate you. I'm trying to pull back a little bit from what I think I need. You know what I mean? Might not go down too well in a relationship, but just tell them your friend Northwood Shaman offered you to do it. Fast. If you're really hungry for some junk food, don't eat. Don't eat. It's that simple. You're not going to die. You might get a little rumbly tumbly, you know what I mean? But you're not going to die. You'll be all right, you know? And some food will come around. If you desire to sit and play video games all day, pull back. Sit for a while not playing video games and work with that, you know? Don't deny. Don't push away. But work with and kind of play with what it is that you think you need in life, you know? Talking to somebody else, if you think you're somebody that needs their approval or needs their belief, you know, or needs their company or word, maybe understand that they are just their own being. They are just their own being, and you think you need them in your life, you know? And this doesn't mean, you know, walk away and ghost them. But maybe the next time you're hanging out with them, see them as just this being in front of you that you are under the impression you need in your life. And look into why you think you need them, and what would happen if they were gone, and what is it about them that you need, you know? Is it their words? Is it their assurance? Is it their empathy? What are you looking for, you know? Why do you play video games all day long? Why do you go and eat junk food at random times, you know? Just look into the nature of why you are the way you are. Not as much so others, because they can do that themselves, you know? And that's a big problem, is me thinking I have the moral right to contemplate why this person is how they are to them. I can do it in my mind all I want, but to come at them as if I know how they are and how they should be acting is perpetuating attachment and perpetuating negativity and perpetuating a diluted thought stream itself that thinks I know what's right for this person. They need to be like me. They need to do this. Turn that around and work on yourself. Work on yourself. Why am I trying to change this person's outlook? Trying to convert them to my side, like I said quite a while ago. So that's really it for this video. I don't even know what to title this video. It's just kind of me going on. But regardless, I hope you got something out of it. Maybe put into action what I said about just pulling away from what it is that you desire. Stop trying so hard to get what you desire, and maybe you'll feel a little more fulfilled. So with that said, thank you all for watching, and I will be back with more.